some weight, just play that song a few times. Alright, before I play my final piece, I have to give a few shout outs and thank a few people. First of all, thank you guys all for coming here today to support me and support Vista Music. Together you guys raised $1,500, and you know, in a time when a lot of schools are cutting down on music program funding and stuff like that, it's, I think, really important and really useful that Vista Music gets this money. So thank you guys all. Give yourselves a round of applause. Second of all, I'd like to thank my parents for, I guess, kind of listening to me this whole time. I have played the piano for 12 or 13 years now, and they have been listening to me for that whole time. I play classical music on a regular basis, and it's kind of a mini career for me, and I can barely play the song like twice a day without getting tired of it. They don't like classical music. Imagine what it's like for them. Give them a round of applause. Next, I'd like to thank my sister, who you guys saw at the beginning of the concert as our MC. I'd like to thank her for no particular reason, except for she'll probably get mad at me if I don't give her a shout out, so give her a round of applause, I guess. She's mad at me. I'm gonna get it tonight. Next, I'd like to thank my teacher of 10 years and counting, Miss Carol Chuang of the Pacific Institute of Music. Give her a round of applause. Carol's been with me for about 10 years, and in that time, she's listened to countless songs from me. She's kind of mentored me. She was the one who encouraged me to do this concert in the first place, and I can't thank her more, so there's Miss Carol Chuang.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody to come support Ian today. As you can see, this program is a very technical challenged program, and I think this is the college music major or piano major student will play. And that's how difficult that is. If I am the player today, I probably won't choose such a difficult pieces. I probably would give myself a break and then play something easier. So anyway, it's my pleasure and honor to be Ian's teacher for 10 years. And in time flies, I have no idea. We actually working together for 10 years until last week I saw his program. I said, wow, it's 10 years already. And no, he came to me 10 years ago, is this tall. And then now he has even grown so much taller, not even on his height, but also his piano skills, as you can see. And you know, Ian by far is the most efficient student I ever seen in my teaching career. For 30 years, I never seen anybody can be so efficient. And I mean, his working ethic is just super. And everyone knows he is actually witty, humorous, and talented, hardworking individual who likes challenges. So in the past 10 years, he constantly begging me for him to let him play the most difficult piano repertoire in the piano music history. And then as a piano teacher, I think I should say no. But as a mentor, I think maybe I should let him try since he's still, while he's still young and still have a desire. So because of this drive, make him what he is today. And how many minutes I have? Can I say some more? I recall a moment of his performance when he was 9 years old, competing in a wonder competition. And he was playing I remember Bach Italian Concerto, third movement, which movement is a presto, means you require fast fingers, lots of energy, and just on fire, this kind of music. And 9 years old, and by the end of piece, I caught him smiling while his fingers are flying all over the place. And I was thinking, wow, that warmed my heart. Like, I still remember that moment. And as you know, as a piano teacher, it's so rewarding to see my student like to play piano. If you play piano, you know what I meant. But if you have a kid play piano, you know what I meant. Constantly have a fight, and then cries and negative outbursts and something like that. So that moment I really remember it forever. And another moment I want to share with everybody is like to let you know how his concentration level, I mean, how to say that, phenomenal concentration. And I remember like a couple years ago when we were working on the list La Campanella, and after a difficult passages or difficult sections, and I found tears in his eyes. Of course, I immediately I would ask Ian what's going on. And then he answered me, guess what? Oh, I was so concentrated, I forgot to blink my eyes. And that moment still stayed in my mind, and I hope you let me use this example to inspire my future students. That's phenomenal. So anyway, we have a lot of moments I would like to share, but this is, I will get this couple minutes. So as you know, I'm so proud to have Ian as my student. In my life, I will probably never forget about him. Even he embarked his journey to the high school, not high school, after the high school, go to the college. And not even mention about, today I learned something, he's not even 17 years old. And I didn't know that. Every day I learn something. So good luck on your endeavors. And thank you very much for everybody coming, and hope you enjoyed today's program. Thank you.
So thank you, Carol. Because she didn't self-promote, I'll do it for her. Carol works for the Pacific Institute of Music. I've gone there for the past 10 years. If you guys are looking for piano lessons, voice lessons, violin lessons, a ton of other instruments, I recommend you check them out. They're really great. Yeah. Next, I'd like to invite the head of Vista Music, Ms. Carlson, to the stage to talk a little bit about what she's going to do with the $1,500 I'm giving her today.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, everybody who came to his recital today. My name is Alicia Carlson. I'm the director of band, orchestra, and choir at Vista del Lago High School here in Folsom. I've been teaching at Vista for exactly as long as Ian's been playing the piano, for 10 years. And I had the privilege of meeting Ian for the first time about a year and a half ago. He signed up for my string orchestra as a junior. And I occasionally get pianists who sign up for that class. Typically it's just violinists, violists, cellists, a couple basses. But when I get pianists who sign up for that class, for the audition, I always say, well, just play me something. Play me an example of your most advanced playing. And usually most students take out like a book of something that they've been working on for the past few weeks or months or so. And Ian looks at me and says, name a composer. And I'm like, okay, like this kid's funny. All right, I'll name a composer. So I think of the most challenging composer for piano that I could think of, which of course was Liszt. And the joke was on me because it turns out that Liszt is Ian's favorite composer, favorite types of pieces to play. So he's like, okay, sure, and he just pulls out from memory. I forget exactly which piece it was that you played. Of course it was. But he just blew me away. I was like, oh my goodness, this is just, I've got so many different levels of musicians that come to my program. But when Ian played for me, I knew that this was the next level of advanced musicianship. Last year, we did a collaboration. Ian played the first movement of the Mendelssohn Piano Concerto number one, yes, with the Vista String Orchestra. He worked with me to create an arrangement for just strings and piano, and he performed it from memory on our final concert of the year. And I can tell you, I've been doing this for 10 years, and that concert was one of the highlights of my teaching career, getting to share the stage with Ian and just make such incredible art. So thank you for that, Ian. I will never forget that experience as a director. And then also, I want to publicly thank you for your generosity, for making this program. I mean, I would have been thrilled just coming to this recital just to support Ian and hear his magnificent playing, but he decided out of the kindness and generosity of his heart to make this a fundraiser for Vista de Lago Music. We'll be using the money to repair many of the instruments we currently have, purchase new instruments, and purchase new sheet music for future generations of students to perform. And I can promise that I'm still going to be working hard on Ian to get him to sign up for orchestra in January. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, just thank you so much for doing this recital, for sharing your music with all of us, for spreading music education to your audience here, for taking us through the different periods of music history, and for all the hard work that you put into creating this recital. I know from experience that putting together a recital, no matter how difficult the pieces are, is a labor of love, blood, sweat, and sometimes usually always tears on some level, whether it's from being emotional or just not blinking. But I know that it just takes so many hours and dedication and hard work to put together a recital. And for you to create a recital with such advanced music, just so impressive. I'm forever impressed, and I'll never forget working with you, and I hope that I'll get to work with you again in the future. But yeah, I'll stop rambling. I'll let Ian get to his final piece of the program. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ms. Carlson. Before I play my final piece, just a little bit about me, I guess. I am 16 years old. I'm a senior at Vista Lago High School, and I've been playing piano ever since I can remember, since about 3 or 4 or 5 years old. In that time, I've had amazing opportunities as a pianist. I've been able to play as part of an orchestra, chamber orchestra, and school orchestra, a few of which I see in the audience, so thank you for coming out here to support me today. I've had the chance to play as part of a trio, part of a duo, as accompanist to musicians who are way more talented than I am. I've had the opportunity to play locally, and I've had the opportunity to bring my music all the way to Carnegie Hall over in New York in what's probably the most stressful thing I've ever done. But yeah, piano has brought me on an amazing journey, and a common question I get is, what are you going to do after graduation with piano? The short answer to that is, I have no idea. I'm definitely not going to play piano for as long as I do now, but it's hard to imagine kind of a life without me having music in some way, so I think I'm definitely going to continue it. I just have no idea in what form it's going to be for now. But to close the recital, I think it's fitting that I play the piece that I've held on to for maybe the longest. I played it on and off for several years. I've gone to Carnegie Hall with this piece. I've played locally with this piece. I've burned a whole lot of calories with this piece. I've broken a lot of strings with this piece. And here, I might be playing this piece for the last time to close out my concert. Here is Franz Liszt's La Campanella.